Josie!
How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Oh, I miss you. I haven't
Miss
seen you
you.
in forever.
I know. We'll have to do something soon.
Of course.
I'm done next month, so
Ooh, is that
I
like
know.
you're graduating
Yeah,
this
I'll be
year?
done with my MBA in December. So yeah, like a month
That's
away.
so exciting.
It's exciting.
Yay. Okay, so we're recording, right? We're good?
Yes.
Okay, so we're just gonna hop on into this. Welcome everyone to Chalk Talks, our podcast that talks about Clemson sports and stories from all different points of view. Today we have Josie Bonamy. She's going to be talking a little bit about what her life is like working with Clemson football and her story about Clemson. So Josie, thank you for hopping on. We're excited to have you.
Of course.
All right, Josie, to start off, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, what initially brought you to Clemson, and how your time here has been?
Yes, of course. So my name is Josie Bonamy. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama originally. I grew up doing gymnastics my whole life. Really just wanted to go out of state, go somewhere other than Alabama or Auburn. And so found Clemson and ended up walking on to the rowing team here at Clemson. So walked on my freshman year, did that all 4 years. And then while I was here, I started as a student worker within Clemson football. So worked in recruiting my sophomore and junior year. So working all of the game days, all the recruiting events, doing all that kind of stuff. And then my senior year, I went into more of the player development side. So with our current players, doing a lot with our academic side and then different events within the program. And then now, post grad, into my MBA that I've been doing for the past year and a half, I have been an intern with the team. So, still helping with player development. The person that I'm under, she's our director of NIL. So, seeing a lot of that side of sports as well, specifically with football, obviously, but getting to see that side of it. And then I also intern with the All In Foundation, which is Coach Sweeney and his wife's nonprofit that raises money for different organizations across, mainly across the state of South Carolina, but interning with them, so getting to do all different events and get to see that side of everything. So, yeah, it's been my experience. I love Clemson, and clearly I've stayed much longer than I planned, but love it here. And so, yeah, it's my
Yeah, that's
experience.
awesome. And I know you come from like a Clemson family and everything.
Yes,
And like
yes.
you followed your sister here, right?
So my sister played softball at Notre Dame. She graduated from there and then came to Clemson for her master's and played her 5th year here, was on the first softball team. So missed her by a year. But yes, my sister did play a year here. So a little bit of Clemson in the family.
Yeah, love that.
So, kind of jumping into things, I guess, you were talking about obviously how you worked in recruiting for the football team. Could you kind of give us a little like day-to-day rundown of what you did there and kind of just the tasks that you had going on there?
Yeah, of course. So within recruiting, we a lot of what I did during the week was a lot of the graphics. We have our creative team that makes all the graphics that we send out to recruits. So they're getting probably 3 to 5 recruiting graphics every single week. So we have what's called like our top 50 basically are the ones that are mainly getting everything, but then we send it to probably close to 100 recruits. So personalized graphics, all that. So helping all of that get sent out, doing the basic office work of getting all the mail every day to everyone in the building, that kind of thing within the building, and then preparing on the middle of the week and then mainly on Fridays before game days, getting all of the name tags, everything ready for all the forms that all the recruits have to sign for game day so that when game day comes, everything's run smoothly. So then within game day, being there typically like 5 hours before the game starts, then the recruits start getting there and checking them all in, giving tours around the facility, getting them over to the stadium. They watch Tiger Walk. There's a few presentations they listen to. So getting to see that whole part of it and helping make sure all that runs smoothly with the game. And then obviously them leaving the game, all of that.
That's super cool. You said personalized graphics for everyone, and I think you said like 50 graphics or something like that. Were all of them that were like being sent out all like personalized to the people you were sending them to?
Yeah, so they typically do like two personalized. I think it's about the same now still too. To the recruits. So they obviously have their photos from when they come on a visit or the other photos. And so they have the like main graphic, but they'll like put their face in on it. And so doing all different things with that.
That's super cool. And
Yeah.
do you feel like kind of obviously when you were giving your little intro, you also said you worked in player development. Did you say you still work in player development?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Do you feel like this role, kind of working with the recruitment team, helped with your transition to player development? Like, do you feel like it gave you some advantages and kind of in what ways?
Yeah, for sure. So I definitely think it helped in that a lot when I was in recruiting, a lot of the players that we were recruiting are now here. And so obviously in recruiting, you're only really interacting with the guys that are in high school that are coming to the games, all that. But now within player development, being with the current guys. So a lot of those guys that we recruited obviously I knew from when they were coming to the games on the weekend. So now it's helped me building that relationship. And then obviously now within grad school and my internship, I'm basically here every single day. So spending a lot of time with them. And so it really does help build that relationship and getting to know them. And then they tell you all the things about their life, which is really cool just to kind of be there and then them having someone that they feel like they can talk to that's not just their coach.
Yeah, that's definitely, I feel like kind of it's interesting, I'm sure for you that like some of them you kind of helped to recruit and now they're here and you're like still
Yeah.
working. Super
Yeah.
cool. When like working in player development, you're obviously pretty close in age to like most, if not all of the players. Do you think that that gives you an advantage or kind of like a disadvantage when you're working in player development?
I think mostly an advantage in that I feel like they can relate to me and that they know I'm close in age, but they know I'm a little bit older, but they know that I just went through it. And I also think that me having been a student athlete here as well helped them in being able to relate more too, because they know that I understand their schedule and how crazy it can be. And so I feel like it's definitely been an advantage and helped me get to know them better and them feel like they can trust me more.
Yeah, I think what you said also about being a student athlete as well, I think that's something I didn't think about when I initially asked it. Like you do have that relation definitely. So I think that's
Yeah.
super cool for like you and for them to kind of compare and contrast all of it.
For sure.
Kind of piggybacking off of what Kennedy was saying. You obviously work extremely close with the team, but you're not an actual player. How would you describe the team culture? How is it like from a outside point of view?
Yeah, so it sounds obviously super cliche. We always talk about the Clemson family, but truly within, I feel like any sports team. And so I've seen it within when I was on the rowing team and then now with here, everyone really, you spend so much time together. And so everyone really has to buy into the process and all of the hard days, the great days, getting just to be with each other. And you're spending, here we spend pretty much like 12 hours of the day together every day. And so just really building that trust and that family. And so it really does feel like that. And that when there's the good times, they're really good, and the bad times do feel really bad sometimes. But knowing that you're all in it together, you're all there for each other. And I feel like everyone is so bought into the team and bought into the program that no matter what, everyone really does support each other, wants everyone to do well. And so, yeah, that Clemson family culture and atmosphere really does help the team. And then from an outside, like it makes coming to work every day so much fun. Like I don't really view it as like a job. Like I truly love getting to come here and spend my time here every day.
Absolutely. Kind of going back to your recruiting, do you have a favorite player that you kind of recruited and then they came to play?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'd have to think. Um, I guess off the top of my head, someone that I remember recruiting was Peter Woods. And so being a part of that and seeing when Coach Easton came to Clemson and then Peter committed and getting to meet him and he committed pretty quickly once Coach Easton came and all that. But getting to see that was really cool. And then I've obviously been here his whole time he's been here. So that's been super cool to see him grow and develop into the player he is and the person he is today.
Yeah, that's got to be really cool to recruit somebody and he'll probably get drafted pretty high.
Yes.
You mentioned that you work with Dabo Sweeney and his All In Foundation. Do you feel like your experience?
We raised, I think it was like $1.4 million in that one night. So with ticket sales, and then we do a live auction and we do a silent auction. And so getting to see that event specifically is really cool to see just how much people obviously love Clemson, but how much they are able to promote wanting to help other people and how important it is to help other organizations. And just seeing that grow just shows how much they really care about other people and really just want to help the state of South Carolina, help, and then the outside areas. So that's been really cool to see.
And you've obviously been here at Clemson for a while now. So in the future, would you kind of want to stay here with Clemson, continue your work here, or do you kind of want to go another route, or do you have other plans you might go through with?
Yeah, so I am currently figuring all that out, but I go back and forth in that I love Clemson so much, but seeing if I want to stay here or if I want to branch out. So I've been interviewing with different companies, a lot of sports teams specifically. So I've looked in the Atlanta area. I've also been interviewing recently with a sports agency that's actually in Chicago. So I'm not normally one that's to be in the cold, but I will see what happens. So kind of just exploring my options right now.
Yeah, do you know what sport or what realm you kind of want to go with that, or just open to
Um,
anything?
I obviously love football,
Yeah,
but I've looked a lot into basketball, and then the sports agency that I'm interviewing with is basketball and football primarily.
nice.
All right. You've clearly, based off of this whole interview, have done so much with your time here and have had so much success at Clemson so far. So to kind of like close things out here, if you could pick one word or like phrase to describe your time at Clemson so far, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would probably just say fulfilling. I feel like coming to Clemson, I didn't really know anyone, but wanted to branch out and do something different. And so I really like people always say that people make the place. And it really, I found that true here. And I met some of my best friends and I had some of the best experiences here. And I wouldn't trade it for the world, but really just seeing you obviously always people talk about Clemson and how awesome it is and how great of a place it is, but getting to see it firsthand and obviously all of you probably feel the same way, but just all the people you meet and people from all over the country, just getting to build relationships with so many different people, make so many connections. Yeah, that's probably what I'd say.
100%. I agree with that answer.
All right, Josie, like some of my favorite conversations that I've had with you have been the crazy stories that you tell me about like football and working with all of them and Dabo and everything. What would you say is like your favorite story or something like something funny just to share about like
Gosh.
working with
Okay,
everyone?
I'm trying to think. Trying to think. I feel like there's something just about every day that goes on that's funny.
Yeah.
Um, Probably just like, I guess this wouldn't be like a specific story, but just like in general, like I've been mentioning the boys and just like being so close with them, spending all their time. They really do start to tell you every single thing about their life. You hear about their girlfriend, the girlfriend that broke up with them. You hear about quite literally everything. And so that's been like a cool and funny experience of I'm sitting down at lunch and someone comes to sit to tell me about the great weekend they had with their girlfriend or that they had a really terrible weekend. Just like different things like that, different stories. I can't think of a specific story right now, but it's always something new every day.
Yes.
Like
I love it.
I feel like with what you're saying too, it's interesting that like it probably humanizes them all so much because I'm
Yeah.
sure like everybody thinks of them as these like, oh, they're the football team, like whatever, but them telling you like, oh, my girlfriend broke up with me, like why did she do that? Like coming to you for
Yeah.
stuff like that. I'm sure it's definitely very funny and like humanizing for you to be like, wow, like they are real people.
Yes, exactly. And like I feel like too, something cool is that obviously from the outside, so many people just see them as football players, but within the building, like Coach Sweeney really prides himself on the fact that like everyone he recruits, he's very different than a lot of other coaches in that he won't offer someone until they're a rising junior in high school. So he wants to see at least 2 years of their grades, at least a year on a varsity team, and then only offers like 50 to 60 guys a year, whereas some other coaches will offer like hundreds of guys, and then there's not a spot for someone once someone commits. That really does. He wants them to really fit the Clemson culture, and I am able to see that in that like we really do have such great guys, and they come from great families, and just getting to see them grow during their time here, like obviously they're football players, but they really are here to get their degree, and Coach Sweeney's number one goal is for every single player to graduate. So getting to see that part of it too is really cool, and to just see them as and people to see them as real people rather than just a football player that's here to help the school win. And like obviously that's their goal, they want to win, but getting to see them grow.
All right. Does anyone else have any questions for Josie before we wrap this all up? All good. All right, Josie, thank you so much for your time here.
Of
We loved
course.
having you on and hearing all about what you have to share with us about your experience. You've done just about everything in the books and have maximized your time here at Clemson. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course. Thank y'all. Nice to meet you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Joe.
Bye.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Yeah, I guess she.
Okay, within the last two episodes, we've gotten lots of insight into football recruiting after hearing about it. Do you think it's something that you guys would be able to do or something that you would be interested in doing?
I think kind of hearing a lot of the stuff that Josie was saying today, I don't know if it's something I'd 100% want to do, but I think she definitely gave a very like positive outlook on it today. Like I thought it was super cool how she was saying like a lot of those guys that she recruited, she's now working with in like player development. I think it would be an interesting like spot to start. I feel like from what both her and Kennedy said last episode, like it would be a cool place to start and then kind of like work your way up and continue.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's something that I'm looking into doing, especially like I'm not sure if the media side of everything is really for me. So I love the development and working with athletes, and I've utilized a lot of my resources here, so being like on the other side of that, I think would be really cool as a job. So, yeah, I would really be interested in it.
I think it'd be something I'd be interested in, but I don't really think I'd be that good at it, if I'm being honest. Because I don't know. I'm a people person, but I'm not the most outgoing of all people. So I feel like if you took me to bring in a bunch of these top football recruits, I mean, I don't think I'd be able to secure the bag, but that's my stance on it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you got to be like a marketing major or something. Like, hope you know how to sell Clemson.
For
I
sure.
I feel like I would like actually love doing maybe more so what like Josie's doing compared to Kennedy. I feel like Kennedy is more like setting things up where Josie's like meeting these people and are face to face, which I like that aspect. I would want to do that and like be in the know instead of like having to like work behind the scenes, which I guess that makes me sound like I don't know, but I
Wait,
think
I'm the same way. I would much rather like work with people than,
yes, right? Okay.
yeah.
I feel
Mhm.
like for you, especially Elizabeth, kind of what Josie was saying that like obviously you guys were on the same team and then like this is something she ended up doing. I feel
Mhm.
like because you have that like student athlete perspective, it would definitely be something that I think you could like do with ease because like you kind of
Yeah.
know ins and outs of it. Like you've said in all the episodes, like you know a bunch of them, like even like you were just saying that you said like Josie would find out things from them or whatever, but I just feel like that could be something like interesting with the student athlete perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
Talking about Josie and even Kennedy from our last episode, did either of them kind of say anything that stuck out to you guys or maybe change some of the previous ideas you had about working in sports?
I feel like kind of hearing from both of them about how much, specifically the recruiting process, how much goes into it and like how many people are involved in it. Because even like Josie and Kennedy, like we were both, or like we were all saying, they both kind of did very different things, and like just hearing about how much goes into it kind of stuck out to me the most, because I was thinking that there was like smaller team of like all adults kind of just recruiting these guys to come play. But I think hearing how many like integral little parts there are is definitely interesting.
I think for me, like hearing that the team's culture is also their culture has been really interesting. Like how Kennedy would say like that the Georgia football team's values aligned like with the staff values. And so like they're all the same team, even though they aren't on the field, they're not coaching. They're all under the same roof.
Yeah, I would say the same. I think, especially at Clemson, like the kind of like all in attitude that they talk about, especially with football, kind of plays into the staff and who works for Dabo, especially in the recruiting process. Like you want to get guys who are coming in and you want them to buy into your program and what you're doing, especially from a staff personnel as well as the team personnel. Um, did the way Josie talked about her role and experiences with Clemson football change your perspective about college football programs in general?
I would say, in like my opinion, it more so just like the things that she was saying solidified the difference in like the Clemson football program versus other football programs. Because I think like we talk about, and Josie talked about it, kind of like the all in, the Clemson family aspect. And it just like everything she was saying goes to show how much they really do value it. Like, not just the team, but like all the people working with the team. So I would definitely say, like, for me, it just solidified that like Clemson definitely has its own way of doing things.
I was just gonna say, like, it seemed like it came off more genuine than I thought it would be. Like, I think there's a lot of schools that like put their best foot forward and like when recruits come will like maybe like not fake it till you make it, but like not necessarily as like they don't get all the opportunities as they promise. Like I know that's a big issue back at like SDSU. I'm only bringing that up because I'm from there and my friends go there. But I think like it just surprised me that it seems as though like our football program is super genuine and like they take care of the recruits and they're not just like it's not like, oh, we just want you for your talents. We also like want you for like how your family raised you or like your perspectives on life. And I think that's super valuable.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind
I
of building.
definitely agree with that. Go ahead,
Go ahead.
Ryan.
Kind of building off of that, like just expanding on more just college football programs in general. When you and Kennedy, or sorry, when you and Josie Kennedy talked about the human side of things, it really like at the end of the day, you're always like, oh yeah, they're football players, and obviously they're people too, but you kind of don't really think past that. But then she's out here telling us that oh, their girlfriend broke up with them or they had a great weekend with their girlfriend. You realize like they really are people too, and they have their own lives, they have their own struggles, their own good things happening, and it's like you really think about like it's not just a football player at the end of the day.
Yeah, I feel like it also, I mean, I'm sure you guys all have. I know I've had classes with like them. I've had like classes with some of the baseball players, or like I'll see them like walking in the buildings that I'm walking in, and I like have to really think to myself for a second. I'm like, wow, like obviously I go and pay money to like watch them on the football field every weekend, but like they're people too. Like they're going to class. I walk by them and like they're the same exact person that I am, kind of thing. Maybe not the same exact person, but you know.
I think it's interesting too how Dabo only offers 60 guys. Like that's super rare for a huge D1 program to only offer like a select number of players from a rising high school class. Like big SEC schools will offer like she was saying like 100, guys, and it's kind of first come first serve.
Yeah, I think that also goes to show like the value that Dabo and like the whole team kind of puts on the Clemson program, kind of that like you need like I don't know how to word, not that like they need to want to be here just as much as Dabo wants them to be here. I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but I agree. And like kind of going back like to the like humanizing them. Like I've had Waffle House with Peter. So it's like we're sitting down and he's like throwing this pancake back and in my head I'm like, wow, like this kid just played football like it's just it's definitely cool that like it's like hard to also like realize like yeah, they get like practically paid money to like play here and go here, but also they're like normal, right? Like I don't know.
All right, I think that that's
Yeah.
all we have for the discussion.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Here I can just wrap something up. All right, well, thank you to everyone who listened to this episode today. It was a pleasure to hear from Josie and about all of her experiences. So stay tuned for more guests like this and have a great day.
Go
perfect.
Tigers!
Perfect.
Yeah.
I have a train coming by in the